Welcome to TA Live, Technical Assistance Live. Today we're going to be talking about hearing assisted technology. It's going to be a fun time, y'all. It's going to be fun. Yeah. So, hi, I'm Candace McIntyre. I am with the Resource Materials Technology Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, RMTC DHH. And today we are joined with Dr. Leslie Walker from Miami-Dade Public Schools, and she is going to be our educational audiologist expert who she's going to answer all your questions, hopefully. So, I'm going to go ahead and toss it on over to her because I know y'all we got a lot to cover. So, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that we can just have Leslie, and here we go. Hi, Leslie.
Okay, hello everyone. Hi, I'm Dr. Leslie Walker. I am the educational audiologist in Miami-Dade, Florida. I know in the crowd there's an itinerant teacher in there that I used to work with. And hi, Ruth, I miss you. So I am here today to talk to you all about FM systems, HAT systems, FM, and to troubleshoot. But my goal today is not to talk and give you all this information and you write it down. My goal today is to listen and hope I can help you troubleshoot any issues you have come across. I do have a plethora to my left with my Vanna White to my left of different FM systems that we have here currently in our inventory that I was able to pull really quickly. And I obviously don't have any CI cochlear implants or Bajas, but I'm hopeful that if you have questions about any troubleshooting, I can walk you through those or give you some information. And at the end of this, you definitely you'll have my email. And if I'm somebody that you would like to speak to or ask any questions further, I'll be more than happy to answer them. So first of all, I am going to start off by saying I am old school and I still say FM when I know our new technology and our new wording should be hearing assistive technology, HAT. I try my very best to say HAT, but I'm so used to just saying FM, and it's just easier for me because I've been saying it for so long. But I use them interchangeably, so please excuse me if you hear me saying FM or HAT. I'm speaking of the same thing. Um, I think I said it, but we use here in Miami-Dade, we use Phonak systems because they're to us. We love the Phonak system because we can do hearing aids. Plus, we also have the capability with the cochlear implants and Bajas. We also have Oticon Edu mics, and we also use Resound multi mics for our CI students and Baja students. Let me think. I think that's the companies that, yeah, I'm thinking of the companies that we have POs with. So that's usually what we use. And I have pretty much put my hands on probably every CI so far, except for the ASIA. I have a new student that just got it, so that'll be new for me in the next couple of weeks. Every Baja, I believe, and pretty much all the Phonak and Oticon hearing aids. Oticon, not as much, but Phonak hearing aids, I feel like I dream about them in my sleep. So I'd like to start off by I would like to take any questions because I know that since I work with teachers, they always have questions about, hey, this happened or that happened. Shoot away. And like, oh, FYI, sorry, I have Roger pens. I have a Roger pen if you have questions regarding that. I have Roger on. I have the Roger touchscreen. I have an EduMic by Oticon, a Resounds multi-mic, and I have Roger 20, 21, 18. I have all the receivers. So give you an idea of where you'd like to start. And you guys just help me answer your questions as best I can.
And so you guys put your questions in the chat and I will say them out loud for Leslie to then answer.
How about before a question comes in, I'll start with something really quick. Okay. This is something I'm going to highly recommend, and we can talk about it in detail later or however long we have. I'm going to tell every person, if you do not have one of these, I'm going to encourage you to speak to your educational audiologist at your district to see if they could scoop you up one. It is called an MLX checker. it is like my Bible of FM. I don't like to walk around without it because it can help you troubleshoot FM right there on the spot. And if it's a little more complex or if you can't find it, then you can reach out to your educational audiologist. So if you have seen them before, I love that. If you have not seen them before, then I plan to show you one today. If nobody questions about it, that is one thing I do want to show you all.
Cool. All right. Pam Taylor put in the chat, what educational audiologists? Because some of them here are in very small rural districts and they don't have an educational audiologist.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
will this make you feel better? Maybe not, but we are what, the third largest, and there are only four of us. There we have five audiologists, one's testing, but we have four for this entire county. So
Yeah.
yeah,
For
it's
all of
fun.
Miami-Dade, yeah.
For all
With
of it's been fun. And at about 6 years ago, there were only two of us for about 5 years straight. It's been
yeah,
real fun.
yeah. And Corey Getter said something similar. She said, I would love to have any kind of audiologist less than an hour away because she's also in the small rural district.
Well, you could always email me. I'll be more than happy to help.
Yes. All right. So in the chat, we do have Tama asks, has anyone experienced issues with FMs working with the FAST test, the Florida Assessment for Student Thinking? Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's what it's called. I'm not a teacher. So your question is, have you had any, has anybody worked with the FM with while they're testing? So we have worked with them. I'm not sure. I will put my disclaimer in there now. I'm not sure they're doing the fast testing. Maybe it's iReady. I'm sure it's fast, but we just pretty much say anytime they're on their laptops or their computers and the sign on the door says they're testing, they're taking a state test. But we do use FM, and we have been very successful with them, especially in our program schools. And it just depends on what microphone they have and how it's connected. Can I ask you, is your student, and what amplification is your student using? A cochlear implant? Are they having, do they wear hearing aids, Baha? And do they currently have a personal FM, and what kind? And I can help you try to troubleshoot because we've run into some issues lately with the auxiliary cords. And it's been really challenging trying to figure it out, but I think we got a grasp on it.
Give her a second to
Of
check the
course, of
chat if she wants.
course.
Yeah. Joanna put in the chat, what about Bluetooth connectivity and testing platforms?
Okay, so that is a really good question. We have run into this tremendously. A lot of our students are getting their new hearing aids and they're going home and they're Bluetoothing to their iPads. So then when they come to school, they want to Bluetooth to their district iPad or laptop. What we have been telling teachers and parents is that we don't feel that having that Bluetooth connection is the best because we don't know when it's lost connection. We don't know if the Wi-Fi goes down or something happens, or it's you don't for us, you don't have that, we don't feel this connection is strong enough, or what's the word I'm looking for? Reliable, thank you, reliable enough to during for testing. So that is why we highly encourage. I have a student at one of my schools who was adamant, her mother was adamant about her using Bluetooth, and then what happened? Her hearing aid kept disconnecting. It kept disconnecting because she goes home at night and she's connected to her technology at home, and she gets to school and then we have to go in and we have to Bluetooth, and it was too hard for the teachers to remember. So I said, let's use our Roger touchscreen. Let's use our auxiliary cord. Let's plug it in because we know that we're hardwiring right to your laptop and we're getting that connection. So that is what we have found here, has been very helpful. And it has eliminated those emergency emails of, we're in the middle of state testing and they can't hear anything. And then, so that is something I would highly recommend.
Mhm. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I think I don't think I even thought about the Bluetooth disconnecting because whenever it's an accommodation in the accommodations manual of being able to connect your
Yeah.
Bluetooth hearing aids, and I didn't even think like, oh my goodness, we could have disconnectivity
Think
happen.
about think about your
So
AirPods. Your AirPods,
yeah,
you're in them, and all of a sudden, or it rings, and like some of these kids, they have Bluetooth and their phones are connected. They're not supposed to have phones, but think about middle school, high school. Their phones are connected. Somebody texts them, their phone is on, they call them, but it's on do not disturb, but it rings through. It takes away that connection from then they're in the middle of testing. Their phone is in their bag maybe or close by, but it can take away that, and then they have to go back in and, you know, reconnect it, or they miss something. So I always say use the hardwire system. You're straight through, and it can help alleviate some of that stress for both the student and the teachers.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, follow up in the chat. We have experienced issues this year with the audio of the fast FMs, Bluetooth or cord. We switched cords and FMs, experienced the issue at two schools with Phonak and Oticon mics.
Okay, so let me replay this in my head and say it out loud. Hopefully I heard it right. So you're experiencing issues at two different schools during fast testing, either Bluetooth or hardwired with Oticon mics and Phonak mics. You switched out cords and you're still having a connectivity issue. Okay, so the first thing I would do is number one, you did right, you switched out the cord, because it could always be the cord because we're rolling that cord up and doing things with it. If that did not work, the second thing to do is check the port. If it's two different, check the port of the computer where that goes in to make sure that that is working. So maybe try a different laptop or a different computer. Or if you're using a laptop and you've tried laptops, switch to a desktop and see if that connection works with the same process. First cord works, we knew it, then maybe it was a laptop. That cord doesn't work, try the second cord. If it still is an issue with those mics, the next thing that I would say you could probably do is contact your EA, educational audiologist. I'm going to say EA, and see if they can come out and look at it and see and send it in. Under, if it has warranty, send it in for repair, and they'll duly note that there is an issue with connectivity and Bluetooth connectivity. That did happen, has happened recently, and we could not figure it out. We changed from computer to desktop, from cord. I think we went through 6 cords, and we were like, something's wrong. We sent it in, and they sent it back, and the touchscreen worked perfectly fine. So it must have been something within the touchscreen.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, one more thing, sorry. When you're plugging it in, if you're using, I'm gonna assume it's a touch screen, but it could not be. Are you, sometimes when you plug it in, we have, you'll notice a little screen that'll pop up that'll say input cable, and or input output, it'll say computer or tablet. Has that happened to you? If it has, that happened to us. We have been, yes, okay. We have been checking, let me double check. We've been checking input. We were checking computer and the student was not hearing it. So we unplugged it to get that little pop-up box back, and we checked input and it was fine. This just happened, I think, about a week ago. We were like, what is wrong? And we are starting to notice it's popping up. So we started pressing input and telling the teachers, when it comes on, till you or the student press input, and it has been working. So try that. Do not know why that is working, but that is something that we have been finding has been a solution. Can you repeat that from the 2 options? Yes, from the 2 options of
When you plug it
oh,
in.
when you plug it in. So it'll be, let's see if I can do it now. My little assistant, she has it all labeled over here for me. Let's see if it does it now, so I can make sure I tell you what it says. Let's see if it does on this side first. Give me 1 second, I might mute. It didn't do it on this one, have no idea why. More than likely because the ones that we have been using, that we have been seeing it on, are the, I'll say like the first generation Roger touchscreens. This one that I am showing you right now, yeah, this is mine. This is the new touchscreen, the touchscreen 3, which I am obsessed with. So it might not appear on that. But the 2 options that it says, Tanya, are, it'll be a little box that may come up, and it'll say input, and then I believe it says tablet and computer. Output, it says input, then it says tablet and computer. I'm using my memory. I'm going to remember to take a screenshot, and then if you email me, I will email it to you the next time I see it, so you know exactly what it is. We have been pressing, I think we have been pressing the input. We've tried all of them. So worst case scenario, try all of them and see which one. But I believe we've noticed that if we press input, which is at the top, it has been working because the student was like, I don't hear anything. I'm plugging it in my headphone jack. I'm plugging it into the bottom of my mic and it's not working. The microphone is muted like it should be, but they're still not hearing anything. So that's what we did. So input, I believe, and then it says tablet. I know it says tablet and computer, but we have been pressing, I believe, the input button. But I'm gonna double check that one for you.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. All right, another question in the chat. We This says, I have a student with Oticon hearing aids, and we have
Okay.
him paired to a Roger neck loop and Phonak touchscreen mic. The audiologist set the T-coil, but we are still having issues with connection on a daily basis. We switched through to find the T-coil on the aids, and it doesn't always sync to the mic. I was hoping it would be easier for the class staff. Any suggestions?
Okay. I have a big suggestion that'll probably help, but it also depend on your district. But I hear what you're saying. What we have run into is that telecoil. We have noticed when you're pairing Oticon or any other company with Phonak, it works. That's what, they have those hubs and it's great. But for some reason, that connection is not as reliable and they go in and out. And when we're depending on telecoil, for instance, some of our CI kids, we have to depend on telecoil, that for some whatever reason, it just doesn't hold. That's the easiest way for me to say it. My suggestion, if they are Oticon Plays, Oticon Exceeds, Oticon Intent, any of the Oticon hearing aids, if they're pediatric, I would assume they're fairly new. See if you can get your educational audiologist or your district to get you an EduMic. I will tell you this, EduMics are so much easier than touchscreens. If I could use EduMics everywhere, I would. They're just the ease of them, just the connection is easier because all you need to do with an EduMic is you're gonna pair it. It has a little thing. Here's my little button. It's gonna go orange. Sorry. You're gonna pair it to those hearing aids, and that teacher is gonna put that on and they're gonna go and mind their business and they're gonna talk and teach, and that's it. You don't have to hit connect. You don't have to, you still have a mute, but you don't have to go through the things you do with the Phonak system. You can still use a hard wire. You still use I left it in the thing. It still has the auxiliary cord. You still, if you wanted to, you could put, oh, thank you. I have a Vanna White over here. You have your EduMic auxiliary right here. So it goes right into the bottom and then into the headphone jack. You also, if you see here, there are 3 dots, which you could plug in a Roger X. Then you can put this to the side, hit connect with your Roger touchscreen. If that's the only student in that classroom with Oticon, you plug it in, you connect them here. They're already paired to the EduMic. You hit connect, and now they're paired to the Phonak system with all the other kids in the class, if that's what you want, or if that's what you need.
Beautiful.
Hope I answered your question?
I see her shaking her head. Yes. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. I lost my next question. Okay. Do you know which system works best with advanced bionics cochlear implants?
Phonak.
Phonak.
So Phonak is, in case you didn't know, Sonova is the parent company, which owns Phonak and Advanced Bionics. So as long as you're ordering Phonak, you're fine. So okay, let me put it this way. If your student has a Marvel CI, which is the newest CI, it's so easy because that is what I love to say, plug and play, but you're not plugging, you're just playing. Because a Marvel CI, you can use the Roger X. You can either use the Roger installer, which if you're a teacher of the deaf, maybe an audiologist will get mad at me, but I would love for all of my teachers that are deaf to have one of these as a just in case, but there's another option now. But this is called a Roger installer, and it has the 3 little prongs right here. So what you would do is you would get a Roger X. You would get one for that student, 1 or 2. You do, it's 1 for each implant. You plug that in here into the little bottom. Hold on, I got these new nails and I got to figure them out. I love Miss Debbie, the interpreter.
She's doing
You pl
awesome.
you plug it into the bottom here, and what you're gonna do, if you can see, there is like a picture of, it's kind of, there's a picture of a hearing aid here. Phonak makes this. You're literally going to take that child's implant and you're gonna set that on here. You're going to turn it, you plug it in, you turn it on, you turn the implant on, you set it here, and it literally, we love to say it zaps. It's just easier for our kids and our teachers to understand. It's taking this Roger FM and it's dropping it into their CI. That's a marvel. The other best way to do a marvel is, I'm gonna plug this until I can't anymore. EAs out there, tell your school district to buy you teachers of the deaf a Roger, any type of Roger teacher or Roger microphone 3. The 3 is the one that has the integrated FM. There are unlimited receivers inside of this little box here. So if you are out there and they can't get out there, if you don't have an audiologist in your area, then you can have this and you can drop in FM to anybody as long as they have a mic. So you would take the FM, and I can show you guys how to do that with one of my hearing aids here. We can get through a few more questions, or we can do it now. And you literally will take the FM or take the hearing aid, the implant, and it's going to literally drop the FM inside of it without the use of the Roger X, because the Roger X is already inside of here. But that is if they're Marvels. If they are an AB Q90, which is the first version, not first, but the new ones after the Harmonies and the Connects, if they're a Q, then you would use that's not it, Roger 17, which are little. I have a whole bunch. Let's see if you can see it. It's a little, oh my God, this is like the worst. I'm like the worst person to hold these. It's literally like a little shoe. And if you look on so the only issue is you have to make sure that your students Q90 or Q90 CI have a little slit on the bottom. So they usually have two. They have one that's just a straight battery door, and they have one that has a slit. Tell the parents, send them to school with the slit because I have the FM. You literally rock that on. You get your Roger microphone, whichever one you're using, you hit connect, they're good to go. They can take this off and go every day at school, and then you don't have to worry about it. If you want them to take it home, that's your journey. So that they can take it off. It slides on and off. It's so easy to use. So those are the options for Advanced Bionics, but Advanced Bionics is easiest because Advanced Bionics and Phonak are the same company.
Beautiful. Lots of chatter in the chat about how the Edgy mics are amazing and they have students that have them and they're amazing.
They are. So we love an Edgy mic. Yeah, we love an Edgy mic.
Yes. And then someone said that their audiologist got them hooked up with, oh, my screen just got them hooked up with a Roger installer, and it's been a game changer for a small role. It's been
Yes.
great to be able to do more troubleshooting, connecting without multiple trips across town. So
Yeah. So real quick, I'm going to show you how to use this, because if you can convince them to get you this, your life is going to change tremendously. So this is the new Roger. Now this is the touchscreen, and they also have the Roger On 3. So, we all know how to turn it on. My assistant is turning on our hearing aid. So we have a little Naida Marvel here, just a regular hearing aid, has no FM. I pulled it right out the box. So give me a few moments, because, I haven't done this for several weeks. So you have the same things on your screen, connect. You're going to slide over, and there is going to be something that says Roger Direct. That is telling you that there's a Roger is going to come from your touchscreen, and you're going to pop that into your hearing aid. So what you would do is you would hit Roger Direct. This on? Oh, it's on. You're going to hit Roger Direct. So telling us to please wait. Okay, now you're going to see a little screen, and it says that's the hearing aid implant, whatever. And then you see it's like a little play button. So I'm going to pop, you don't have to pop it on there, but I try to just hold it at the top, and hopefully this works and we don't have any issues and I look crazy. And we're going to hit the play button. Sorry, I know my screen is blurred. Come on. Oh, and then you see there was a check mark. There's a green check mark there. So now If I were to take this microphone and I hand it over to my associate to my left, you're going to listen to it. And then, oh, hold on. Sorry. Now I have to go back out. My bad. I dropped it in and now we have to connect it. I love to skip steps because, so now you just go in your regular and you hit connect. Let me show you. Sorry. Monica, can you hold this with your hand?
Thank you, Vanna.
And we're going to hit connect. She said, thank you, Vanna. Oh. There we go. Okay, so we hit connect and Monica is going to put the hearing aid next to her and see if she can hear me. She should be able to, but the point is that you can hear me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, she heard me. All right. So the point is that this can drop in FM for you. If you are a teacher of the deaf and you don't have, and you're in a rural area, having one of these works wonders if you have a student that their phonak hearing aid went in for repair and nobody told you, and then the teacher's calling you saying, the FM's not working, the FM's not working, and then you find out from the mom that they sent the hearing aid in for repair. Side note, phonak now is remembering to drop FM back in, but we have had many instances before this year where it would go in for repair and nobody would check the box on the repair form to say the child had FM installed on their personal device. And so they wouldn't drop it back in. So when they get back to school, the microphone doesn't have anything to connect to. So if you have a new touchscreen or a Roger on with it inside, you can say, not a problem, drop it right in. You're also saving inventory because you're not having to buy receivers for individually because it says unlimited. When I mean unlimited, we haven't tried it, but they told us it's unlimited. So I actually ordered one of these for all of my educational audiologists to have. We have a little bag we keep around in case that does happen or we get a new student and we know we need to get them FM right away. But there's a microphone in class, we don't have a receiver. Here you go, you're ready to go. And if they do send in for repair, we can drop it in. This is the same for an Advanced Bionics Marvel CI. Anything that's Phonak Marvel or Advanced Bionics Marvel, you can use these for.
So follow-up question in the chat. Does the Roger 3 work for all hearing aids and CIs?
Yes, the Roger 3 is the same microphone as the Roger. So the Roger Touchscreen 3 and the Roger On 3 are the same as the original, except now they have the receivers already embedded in here, unlimited receivers. They work exactly the same. It's still a teacher mic. It still has the same capabilities. You can still limit the screen so that the teachers don't have everything to go to. Sometimes you got to lock some screens, but it works exactly the same. The benefit is that you have the unlimited receivers. It costs a little bit more, but you are definitely saving money because you're not having to, you get a new student that comes in and you have maybe an old student that left, but they left with they had their personal hearing aids or personal device and they had FM in there. You're not having to order a receiver for them because you already have a teacher mic maybe in your inventory or your surplus, and you just pull that. You can even if it's an old, so even if you have like an older touch screen that a teacher has, if you have one of these, you can just drop in the FM. The teacher can still use their mic. You're just giving them the FM. So it is saving the districts a lot of money, the schools, if you're in charter schools. However, you're still saving money on that end.
Awesome. And when you say unlimited receivers, which model of teacher mic?
So unlimited receivers are unlimited Roger X's. Teacher, not unlimited microphones, just the receiver, just the basically unlimited Roger X's. The three prong, the Roger X directs are unlimited, meaning it's full of them. That's what they told us. I don't know, maybe if we did an experiment and we tried to do like 1,000 in a day, maybe it would say that's excessive, but we don't know because we were told unlimited.
Awesome. Beautiful. All right, next question. What are some options for hearing assisted technology other than classroom sound field for those that do not have microphones like Roger pens, etc.? We don't have a district audiologist and all the students' hat is personally owned.
Okay, so let me um, get that through my little head. You're in a smaller district, all your students have personal amplification and personal FM, personal hat systems, whether that's a pen, whether that's a touchscreen, an edgy mic, maybe a small remote mic. Yes.
Just only hearing aids and that's it.
Okay, so they only have hearing aids and um they only have hearing aids and they're Phonak or Oticon hearing aids.
I'm not sure.
Not
And
sure.
they might have Edumike. It's just that if they do not have microphones like Roger Pens, etc., what are some other options other than classroom sound fields?
If it's personal amplification, the options that you're going to have, your options you're going to have if their Phonak is going to be our Phonak systems. If they're Oticon, it's going to be the Oticon system, the Edumike. If they're different brands like Resound, some kids have Resound hearing aids, and sometimes there's a lot of promotions. The parents get all these things and have no idea. So ask the parent when they got their hearing aids, did they by chance give them something? Find out who their audiologist was, reach out to them. I reach out to audiologists every day and I say, hey, so I have this student. If you have, I get my little mutual exchange and I say, hey, I have this student. They're new to my district. I see they have hearing aids, or a cochlear implant or whatever. Was there a promotion when they got them? When did they get them? So I get the warranty information. Warranty information is good. So right now, any child that gets a Phonak or Oticon hearing aid, their warranty is for 5 years. So if they got their hearing aid a year ago and their parents like, oh, it's not, it is. It's under warranty for 5 years. They only have one loss or damage within that 5 years, but you can send that hearing aid in all the time. So if they're saying it's something's wrong with it, that's Mom, bring it to school. Let me take it for you. And all you do is call Phonak if you can by chance muster up the eye strengths to find the serial number in that battery door because it's the size of a baby ant. We have to use a magnifying glass on our iPhones and we zoom in with the light. By all means, if you don't have an audiologist to plug it into their target system and get that automatically, then obviously you have to do that. But if you can, because if you can call their audiologist and get that information, you can send that in. You can also say what accessories did they get. Resound at one time several years ago were giving children when they were pushing their hearing aids onto children, which was great because they were giving all their kids a mini mic, a multi mic. So and the parents had no idea. But since I work for Dade County, I knew that because I knew the audiologist at the private practice that was doing it. And she was like, everybody's getting a multi mic that one sees. So I was like, great. So I was able to get that in because the parents didn't at the time didn't want the student to change out their hearing aids. So I couldn't give them Phonak, so we had to use the multi-mic. So we used a Roger X, so I was able to get that information. So try that. Um, Other than that, the only other thing outside of a sound field, you could see if your district would look into maybe like we had some, we just used them all, some Juno front rows. We really like them. They're portable. I believe when we ordered them several, many years ago, at least 10, 5, 6 years ago, maybe more than that, we ordered them. We got it through our Oticon rep, but that was years ago. They put us in touch with it, but they're called front rows. If you look them on YouTube, they're really great. So you could try that, and then they're still able to get some type of um, not sound from the ceiling. It's obviously, I won't use this, but it's a stand-up system that has the capability. It still has auxiliary, so the teacher can plug into the Promethean board and still comes through and it's for the whole class, but it kind of gives it a more personal feel opposed to the sound field in the ceiling. And they have you can have a pass around mic, you can have a a lanyard for a neck loop lanyard kind of mic. So those are some options I think off the top of my head. Maybe it will help.
Beautiful. Someone in the chat did say Phonak typically provides the partner mic and their initial hearing aid kit, and some families send those in. So,
Yes.
ask the parent, like what is
Ask the parents. We have found, disclaimer, we have found that several of our new CI kids, the parents, and we're in Miami, so we have a lot of different cultures, just different socioeconomic here, and they're getting implanted, and the parent is walking away with that box that have no idea. So we were recently at a school, and she has the new Bone Bridge by Medel, the cochlear implant. Mom had no idea, but she went from a Baja to a Bone Bridge. And we're like, we need to give her FM. She's like, I don't have anything. So I reached out to her CI audiologist. She's like, oh no, she has a Samba, which is a little neck loop. I don't really like it because she's in fifth grade and it's a neck loop and she has to wear that to get FM. But Mom had no idea. So I had my coworker speak to mom in Spanish, and mom was like, I have no idea I have all this stuff. And so we said, we're going back to the school tomorrow. Send everything to school with her. She's like, okay, send everything. In that box, not open, she'd had it for almost 4 months, was her Samba. We took it out, we got it hooked up. Disclaimer is we were out here fighting for our lives, trying to get it hooked up. We were doing everything right. It was our first one using the Samba. Turns out that the CI audiologist forgot to activate the program for FM. We were sweating. We were there for 2 hours. We finally, and then she went and had an appointment. Luckily, had an appointment like the next 2 days later. So then they turned it on, and then we went back, and it was simple and easy. But the point of that story, because I'm long-winded, was that mom did not know what she had, and she had it right there, but she had no idea. She walked away from that surgery with her big box and activation and had no idea what was in there. So it was our job to sit there and go through it with her, and she's using it and she really likes it. So ask the parents, and if they don't know, say, send me every single thing that you got at that appointment. Just send it into school. I'm going to send everything back to you that I don't need, but send it in so I can assess it.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of time, I mean, like, listen, as a working mama, like, I it parents are overwhelmed, teachers are overwhelmed, everyone's overwhelmed. So like parents don't know what they don't know. And you like we eat, live, breathe this stuff. So we know what could or could potentially not the parent could or couldn't have. So they might not have any clue. So yeah, come alongside that parent and help them.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, another question in the chat was, has anyone else had their Roger Phone X randomly just start refusing to charge? I've had four go out this first quarter, and our educational audiologist has no clue why this is happening.
Okay. Don't know if this is a coincidence, but everything everybody's asking has happened to me in the last like month. So we had a touchscreen that was refusing to charge. Went there, assessed it, grabbed a new charging cord, would not charge. What I noticed was that the port of how it happened, I do not know. He is in first grade. The port of his touchscreen, it wasn't as like if I plug in this touchscreen here, to me that went in and it doesn't move. It's nice and stable. As soon as I plugged I wasn't paying attention to it, and I was just plugging in and plugging it into the wall, and then I said, Then I held it. I plugged it in, and for some reason I was holding it. I guess in my mind I was holding it just because, and I noticed that it tried to come on, and I said, "Oh," and I looked, and I was the port was broken. And it did not matter what cord you put in there, it was broken. This happened also with the Roger Pen. Sometimes the teachers are going really fast, the students are going really fast, and they're just jamming it in and they're pulling it out. They're sturdy, but we it's just like a cell phone cord. But check that and see if it's your port. If you have another touch screen or another microphone, if it yeah, another touchscreen that you can use with that cord, if it charges, it's your touchscreen. If it doesn't, try check that. If it doesn't, it's more than likely it's your charging. It's something wrong that's not getting a charge. And then sometimes I just send everything in. I know that they don't really care about the charger. I put it all in a box and say check it all. Don't think they really check the charger, but you never know. Another other option is we have noticed that if a teacher loses the cord, they realize that this is a USB cord, and they go and they buy them a cord, or they find a cord that they had at home or in the classroom, and they use that cord to charge it. And I have learned that number one, we had one where it burned. We literally walked into the classroom to pick it up at the end of the year, and the cord was frayed and burned. And they were like, how nobody noticed it was frayed and burned because that caught on fire sometime during a day. It was, and then we were like, this isn't our cord. That was happened. Another thing is it'll plug in and they're charging it, and it's not the right cord. So it's not really it's I know it sounds crazy. We all think that it's like Apple. Sometimes you don't want to charge your things if it's not a certain product. You want to make sure you're using the right product, especially for these things. And also make sure that the microphones are powered off while they're charging. They do charge when they're powered on, but we have noticed and we say we have no idea why, but when they're powered on and they're charging, for some reason it's not holding a charge or it's not really charging. It's like a ghost charge and it lasts for a little bit and it doesn't work. So make sure that the microphones are completely powered off before you put them in the charger.
Mm. Oh, good, good, good thoughts. Oh man, technology is so fun. Okay, next question. Do you have information or links about hearing aids and using the app on their phones?
Yes. Okay. So I'm new end of last year, this year of I currently on my phone, I have downloaded, I think I have I have the Baja, I have the Cochlear app, I have the Phonak, My Junior, I have the regular Phonak because I try to show them how to use it. And sometimes you have to connect the kids are all about they want to hear their Spotify and their TikToks through their hearing aids without people knowing. I know that we're not supposed to do that, but I mean, I'm still I'm just going to show you how to connect your to be accessible. That's my job is to show you how to be accessible. So I do have it. It took me a minute to figure it out. It can be a little not complicated, but sometimes you have to connect the hearing aids to the Bluetooth of the phone, and sometimes you just go straight through the app. What I would do is if you choose, download those apps and play with them. Um, if you have a spare pair of hearing aids that you could use to try and use to for you to figure, to walk through and work through, definitely do it if you have time on a teacher work day, on a don't use your weekend on a teacher work day and try to play with it. That's what I have done. And then once I learned how to do it, and then even when we give the kids the FM for school, sometimes we have to give the kid the whole hearing aid plus the FM because if they just don't have it and we need them to have access and they have a cell phone, we will put the app on their cell phone with permission from their parent, just so that they have that while they're at lunch. Because when we're at lunch, we say don't take the mic because the noise is too then it's too much and the teacher wants to put it on the charger. If they want to use their cell phone, they can use their cell phone and put that on live listen and do all that and they're connected and then they're able to hear their friends and these are more of our middle school kids, middle school and up. Savvy little sixth graders, but mostly seventh, eighth and up. We do have some technology savvy fifth graders that know more than I do. So, use it at your discretion, but I would highly recommend downloading it, making a little account and downloading it and playing with it a little bit. It's as the audiologist, it's taken me a good 6 months to really get it, and I still get confused.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Going back to the charging of the FM, did you say you make sure the FM charge is fully drained before placing on the charger?
No, make sure the FM microphone is completely turned off. It's powered off. We always power off to charge.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Any of the mics, I'd say that with every mic. Any mic you have that's an FM mic, partner mic, make sure you have it on the power off. No power is getting to it, and then plug it into the charger.
Beautiful. All right. Can you please explain what that checker does, the MLX audio checker?
I was going to. I'm excited about this. Okay. So this MLX checker, oh, I have a sticker on it. Thank you, Monica. So this is called an MLX checker. We've had these forever. I don't know if the new one is called MLXi. I've had this for a very long time. The reason I like this is because I have a lot of cords here. It has a headset, and this is a little checker. This checker is a godsend. If you look, it has three holes. So what can I plug into those three holes? A Roger X. So if you're in a classroom and you have a teacher saying they're not getting FM, they're not getting FM, what you would do is you could take your Roger X and you plug it into the three holes, and then you take the teacher microphone. Hold on. Watch this one not work because it's the life I live. You turn it on the side. It's nice and green. You would plug in your headphones to it. Here, you're going to try it for me. So we're going to plug in the headphones here. My little Vanna White's coming over. And then you're going to take the teacher's microphone and you're going to connect it. And if I hit, come on, if I hit connect, A Roger X is connected. And Monica, can you hear me? So you can this is a troubleshooter. So you can say, okay, it's not my Roger X. It's not our Roger X. It must be their implant. It must be their hearing, their hearing aid. It's not our receiver. The other beauty of this is that you have to order all these pieces. It's a little above and beyond, but I love it. If you can order it, I would love for you to have it. You can check Roger 17s, which are for advanced bionic, Q90s. You can check Roger 20s, which are for the Cochlear America CI 7 and 8s. You can check if you still have if you still have Cochlear Americas, if your students have Cochlear Americas 5 and 6, which use a Roger 14, you can get that. I don't know if they still make it. I still have it. You can, this is the 17. You can also check the boots, like if you still are using the Roger 18s and 19s, the actual audio shoes that are attached to the battery door, you can check those. You can check everything. And then you can also, it has all the accessories. So I will show you really quick how to check like a CI because a hearing aid is a hearing aid. The CIs are great. So this is a Roger, this is a battery door, not a Roger 20. Because if you look at the, if you can remember this cochlear implant, Roger 20s are this little piece. Um, it's a little piece. It looks like a little shoe thing. So you would take your kit, the student's implant off, and you would put it in between. So you would put one piece in between here, and you would put it in here. So this is your student's Roger 20 that they would have that you gave them for FM. Monica, why can't I get that in? Because it's the life I live today. You know, it's because I'm not doing it right. Because I have these new nails on. Actually, they're not even new. They're just, there we go. You attach it on there, and this would be the child's battery door. So this comes with the battery door you don't need to use there. So you're checking it, and then you do that. Now, as you see, it has the three prongs. So you take the three prongs and you put it into your MLXI checker. You just drop it in there like that. You drop it in. So this is basically your student's cochlear implant FM that you gave, and then a battery door. So you're checking there's Roger 20. And then you take your teacher microphone, you hit connect. And it's telling me our Roger 20 is connected. So now if my Roger 20 is connected, we know that it's not this is good for CIs. We know that it's not our Roger piece. Our Roger piece is working. Our FM is working. Then you would tell the parent, reach out to your CI team or reach out to your cochlear implant company because there must be something wrong with your connectivity. Um, a lot of times it's the way it goes in. Um, Sometimes it can be on the Roger 20s. It could be just the spacing, the little prongs can get bent. It's very easy to get bent. But this MLX checker you can get from Phonak. Well, you can't get, but your audiologist can get for you. They can order them. They're not way expensive, but they're great they're the best thing if you're in a rural area. You don't have an educational audiologist accessible to you and you're kind of technical savvy and you can just check it instead of, this gives you an idea. Do I send this in for repair? Is it completely dead? And do I need to ask for a new one? Do I need to let the parent know it's not working, but it's not our pieces? It's possibly the child's amplification. And so any of these you can kind of check. So as long as it has a three prong or you have the adapter to make it three prong, you put it inside the MLXS or MLXI checker and and it has a volume control. It looks like an old neck loop. If you guys remember the neck loops or the MyLinks, it looks like the MyLinks. It literally is like a MyLink back in the day. And then you literally just put the headphones on and you can listen and you can talk and you can say, it's not my FM. I'm obsessed with it and I think everybody should be.
Yeah, man, I wish I would have had one of those whenever I was in the classroom. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it really is. It's a game changer, especially for like a self-contained. classroom teacher that has obviously more than one student or two students. It's really, really amazing for itinerant teachers. I think, every educational audiologist can have one. It saves so much time. There's so many new things to save time, like the new microphones can help you with troubleshooting or giving FM. This is definitely good for troubleshooting. Um, and then if you can't get the new microphone, one big thing I will leave you with is if you have something in your inventory that you have an extra mic, it doesn't matter which one. I walk around before I got the new Roger touchscreen. We all walked around with a Roger pen because sometimes when you need to pull the student out of class, right? Say there's multiple kids in that class, maybe two or three in that class that are using FM. You don't want to take that teacher's mic so you can check to see if it's working. If it's working for the other students, we know that's not the mic's problem. So if you are able to just take that student out of the classroom for a moment to check everything, have a mic with you, you can try to connect that student to your microphone. Forget all the dropping FM, just connecting the student to your microphone and seeing if it's working, using a chart, using an auxiliary cord, making sure it's powering on, making sure they're getting what they need. And then if it's working for you on your mic, then we can go figure out what's going on with that teacher's mic. Maybe they're too far away. But always remember whatever mic you put them on, to get them back on the other mic, you have to hit connect. That is another big thing. They'll walk back in the classroom and they've been on somebody else's mic and they're like, they don't hear me, but they're on the last microphone they were on.
Beautiful. Um, is Phonex still sending installers for free as a question in the chat? Do you
Okay,
know?
so I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
They were. That is how we got ours, but we got ours about 2 years ago, whenever they came out. Um, I would highly recommend that you ask, but by all means, I will ask that question for somebody. I do not mind. But I'm not sure, but they were. They were giving the installers out. But not sure if they still are, but I wouldn't know why they wouldn't.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
they may not now. They may because maybe they'll encourage you to buy you don't need an installer if you have a new Roger microphone.
Beautiful. All right, y'all. We got
I do have a really quick 2 seconds. I do have if anybody would like it, you can email me. I can give you my email address. I put together a little troubleshooting guide that I have, and I'll be more than happy to share it with anybody that would like it. It has a lot of different things on there, but it's just a basic troubleshooting guide. And I'll be more than happy to share that. You send me an email, I'll shoot it right over to you.
beautiful. Leslie, can you tell me your email right now?
Yes, LD Thomas. LD as in dog. I hate saying that. THOMAS at Dade, DADE, schools with an S on the end, .net.
Beautiful. Dr. Walker, thank you so much. You've answered so many good questions. Y'all had such good questions.
They have really good questions.
Like,
Yeah.
listen, we're so thankful to have had you here. And man, I wish that I would have had. I mean, I had amazing audiologists in my district. I was blessed to be able to have educational audiologist, but I know that I have friends that wish they would have had something like this to be able to have kind of a Q&A. So thank you so much for being here, for providing your expertise. We really appreciate you so much. And Flood's coming in the chat saying thank you.
Anytime in the rural areas you need assistance, send me an email. I can jump on a Zoom, a FaceTime. I'll be more than happy to help anyone. Not a problem. Just shoot
Thank
me an email.
you are so sweet. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
In the chat, we put the evaluation link in there and your certificate in there. Next month, our topic is Described and Captioned Media Program, DCMP, with Cindy Camp. It's going to be a good one too. They've got a lot of new stuff, y'all, if y'all haven't checked it out. So it'll be a good time. So in the chat is the evaluation for today. We read every single evaluation. We are an IDEA funded state project, and all of our trainings are free for you guys. And so your evaluations matter to us, and we share them all with the state. So we are able to just show that this is needed work. And then in the chat also is the certificate of completion for you to get your 1 hour certificate. And the title is TA Live hearing assisted technology for you to type in. Joanna, I see your hand. Yes, thank you, Dr. Walker. Thank you all for being
You're
here.
welcome.
Thank you, Debbie, to our interpreter, and we'll see y'all next
Thank you,
time.
Debbie. Bye.